Welcome to WCS Money Tutorials. Today's topic is how to select a tax professional using the IRS's directory of tax professionals, how to pick the best professional, and what to look out for. There are several ways to file taxes for free, but most of these services are only available if your return is not too complex and your income does not exceed $73,000. The IRS also has a free file fillable forms option, but this option is also limited in some respects. For one, you cannot file state taxes using this service, so you may need a tax professional. But what type of tax professional, and how do you find them? There are several different types of tax professionals. Many people use temporary seasonal tax preparers, especially at national companies like H&R Block. However, temporary seasonal tax preparers have limited tax knowledge that allows them to prepare only simpler returns, and they cannot represent you before the IRS except to explain how your tax return was prepared and filed. Only enrolled agents, certified public accountants, and attorneys have unlimited representation rights before the IRS, including for audits, payment or collection issues, and appeals. Although it is reasonable to assume that seasonal tax preparers would be cheaper, that is not always the case, since most tax preparers work at major companies like H&R Block. Major companies often charge by the form and can easily cost hundreds of dollars for parents who qualify for multiple tax credits, like the Earned Income Credit and the Child Tax Credit. Major companies have to charge higher prices because they may have multiple physical locations and they have continual employee turnover, so they must train new people every year, which adds to their cost. They must also pay for continuing education for their employees, since tax law changes every year. Most seasonal tax preparers only have basic tax knowledge that allows them to process and file simpler tax returns. This federal tax refresher course outline shows most of the tax information they must know. Anyone who prepares or assists in preparing federal tax returns for compensation must have a valid Preparer Tax Identification Number, or PTIN, before preparing returns. All enrolled agents must also have a valid PTIN. The PTIN must be renewed every year. Tax preparers must consent and adhere to the obligations in Circular 230. When picking a tax preparer, find out how much experience they have. Will they be available year-round? Are they listed in the IRS directory? Do they have a valid PTIN? Never give any personal information or documents if you're only inquiring about their service. Always review the return before signing it, and never sign a blank or incomplete return. The IRS provides a directory of federal tax preparers, which I will demonstrate shortly, that can easily be searched for any locality. Although only people with up-to-date credentials should be in this directory, some of those credentials may have elapsed. Also, if anyone is not listed in the directory, it does not mean that they are not qualified to process tax returns. To start, go to this URL, or just do a search for the directory and click on the link. The directory page has a short form you can use to search for tax professionals. Just specify the zip code and the number of miles you are willing to travel, then select search. The search results are sorted by distance, with closer locations at the top of the list. Each page shows 25 search results and the total number of search results. You can also go directly to a particular page. You can also sort the list according to name, credentials, address, or distance. So to sort by last name instead of distance, click the upper triangle. You can start a new search by clearing the form. You will get the most results by not specifying a type of tax professional. However, if you have a complicated tax situation, especially if there is a significant possibility you will be audited, then it may be better to restrict your search to attorneys, certified public accountants, and enrolled agents who can represent you before the IRS. If you select an attorney or a certified public accountant, you should ensure that they have extensive experience in taxes, because experience does matter. Enrolled agents are only qualified to do taxes. Temporary tax preparers cannot represent you before the IRS, except in explaining how they filed your tax return. Although CPAs are professionals, they are often cheaper than many tax companies, many of which charge by the number of forms used to file your taxes. To restrict your search to certain tax professionals, just click the appropriate boxes. Then click Search. To learn more about credentials, just click on the appropriate links in the form or in the sidebar. You can also restrict your search to particular individuals by typing the first 3 letters of their last name. Then click Search to see the results. If you have any complaints about a tax preparer, you can report them to the IRS using this form. Directions are included in the form. Thank you very much for your time. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I would appreciate any suggestions, so please leave them in the comments below. Check out my website at thismatter.com for more than 850 in-depth fundamental tutorials on personal finance, investments, and economics. Check out my books on money at williamspalding.com. Thank you.